If you're a fan of comics, then you're probably eagerly awaiting the release of The Sandman Season 2. This Netflix series is based on the popular comic book series of the same name and doesn't disappoint. Keep watching for all the details on what to expect from Season 2, including cast, release date, and spoilers. First up, who will be in The Sandman Season 2 cast? While the official cast for the new season isn't known yet, we can assume that the following cast members from Season 1 will likely return, among potential others. The first actor who is likely to be in Sandman Season 2 is Tom Sturridge as Morpheus/Dream/The Sandman. The second actor is Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer. The third actor is Vivian Achempong as Lucienne/Death. The fourth actor is Kirby Howell-Baptiste as Unity Kincaid. The fifth actor is Mason Alexander Park as Desire. And the last actor is Patton Oswalt as Matthew the Raven. And now, when is The Sandman Season 2 release date? Unfortunately, there is still no information available on the Season 2 premiere date of The Sandman. However, scripting for Season 2 had already begun, as the show's executive producer David S. Goyer confirmed to Den of Geek in late July. He claims that because of the groundwork laid during Season 1, the procedure is a little simpler this time. Lastly, spoilers for The Sandman Season 2. Alan had a lot more information about the upcoming season to tease than simply the cast. He told EW that Season of Mist, the fourth volume of the Sandman comics, will be the focus of the second season of the program. This is a plot for which the first season's dramatic finale's last scenes undoubtedly built up. According to Alan, Dream told Matthew at the end of the first episode that he was headed to hell and might not return. So then, episode 2 opens with Dream and Lucifer's rematch. It is quite juicy. Gwendolyn's style is about to get a complete makeover, and I can't wait. That's where Dream's real trouble starts, but I don't want to give away any surprises for those who haven't yet read Season of Mist. In an interview with Variety, Neil also voiced his enthusiasm for the rematch between the King of Dreams and the ruler of the underworld. If we do Season 2, we're going to have the rematch, and Morpheus will go back to hell. I take too much delight in telling people who don't know anything about what's going on in The Sandman. And Lucifer has some unexpected things in store for Morpheus, he told the tabloid. The Sandman. 10 behind-the-scenes facts about the Netflix series. Over 3,000 actors read for the part of Morpheus. It made it reasonable that many young actors would submit audition tapes for the part of Morpheus, aka The Sandman, who stands at the heart of Gaiman's narrative. Gaiman reportedly told Entertainment Weekly that he attended 1,500 Morpheus auditions and was unsure how many his casting director saw. He made that number public while promoting his different books and the premiere of The Sandman while on tour. When Neil Gaiman made a stop in Seattle, Washington in the spring of 2022 for an evening with Neil Gaiman, he informed the crowd that Lucinda Sison and the rest of her team had seen at least as many as he had, but that the actual number was closer to 2,000, bringing the total number of auditions to 3,500. They realized they had a star when both groups agreed on the same name. Next up, Tom Sturridge wanted to look like a creature. How can a 30-year-old actor portray what it's like to be an endless member who is ageless? The Lord of Dreams is captured and devoid of his abilities when first seen. To show audiences that Morpheus was otherworldly, Sturridge had a certain manner he wanted to start his character development. This is one of Sturridge's strongest roles yet. After all, he had to make some choices about how to portray his immortality in the opening moments, because he understood that film is a visual medium. Next, we have Neil Gaiman had a clear idea of what Morpheus sounds like. Sturridge chose to go directly to the source for assistance because The Sandman was originally a comic book series and needed to construct the voice of Morpheus. The actor stated that Gaiman said, "Morpheus has thought every concept that has ever been thought across the millennia of his existence. So when he speaks, it's engraved in stone." In the same interview with Rolling Stone, he is not suddenly coming up with an idea. It is the epitome of clarity. For an actor playing the lead in a Netflix series, It may be a lot of pressure, especially when, as Gaiman further stated, he's the voice inside your mind. He needs to be in charge, although it must be sufficiently alluring for individuals to accept that invitation. It may be harmful. By extension, Morpheus must be a well-recognized personality, capable of exerting great power, yet approachable enough for people to take his comments as coming from someone they know and trust. And now, the Dreaming was created with a mixture of CGI and practical effects. According to Gaiman, dreaming is the place we travel when we close our eyes at night. To perfectly bring that magical world to life, practical effects and CGI visual effects must be married. Gaiman and the cast explore the Dreaming's various facets in this behind-the-scenes featurette provided by Netflix. They also look into some of the items and attire used in the show. Enormous care was taken to make this fantastical world appear as genuine as possible. Next, Joseph Gordon-Levitt almost directed and starred in a film adaptation. Before Warner Bros. Sold the entire Vertigo Comics property to New Line Cinema, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was slated to direct and star in the film adaptation of The Sandman that the production company Warner Bros. Was planning to make. After then, the actor announced his departure from the film on his own Facebook page, citing creative differences as the reason for his departure. Gaiman and Gordon-Levitt's Sandman version, which was never produced due to a scheduling conflict, would have been very different and possibly more condensed than the final version. On the other hand, a streaming series, particularly one of the quality produced today, makes it possible to interpret the series in a manner that is significantly more comprehensive and subtle than it previously had been possible. Next, we have Gwendoline Christie, worked with a dancer becoming Lucifer. The cast of The Sandman has appeared frequently on television, especially in fantasy shows like Game of Thrones and Doctor Who. Gwendoline Christie, who plays Lucifer, the only character that might be on par with Morpheus, was Brienne of Tarth in the last film, and brought to the role her mastery of acting in such fantastical settings. Meanwhile, Boyd Holbrook had to learn to act without eyes. Morpheus has many friends among the Endless, but he also has foes, chief among which is the Corinthian, a walking nightmare whose eyes are always covered by a pair of rounded black sunglasses. Boyd Holbrook had to find a technique to perform after landing the role that didn't rely on the expressiveness of his eyes. Next, Neil Gaiman and Kirby Howell-Baptiste developed Death together. Not only is Death the most potent member of the Endless, but he is also one of Gaiman's most well-liked comic book characters. Kirby Howell-Baptiste, who embodied her in The Sandman, accepted that Death was not the embodiment of grief at a terrible fate, but rather a joy at a well-lived life. Before going into detail about how she collaborated with Gaiman to develop Death as a character, she told Den of Geek that she's the life and spirit of the party. I feel like I could genuinely talk to him about this person he has known for so long. It was fascinating to have him explain how he perceived and made her. It's comforting to know that Death's interpretation has been carefully considered, given her well-liked character. Next, John Constantine's character had to be reconfigured. The character of Joanna Constantine, often the ancestor of a cult detective, John Constantine from the 1700s, has also been transformed into her modern-day descendant by Gaiman, somewhat altering the original material. Eliminating John Constantine, whose role in the comics was relatively little, allows for a fresh interpretation of both characters. Jenna Coleman explained that playing Joanna Constantine from the past and as her distant relative gave quite a different lens on her dynamic with Morpheus. In an interview with Den of Geek, similar artistic choices with performers have been made by other television shows like The Vampire Diaries, and in addition to being effective, they also offer the performance a narrative underpinning. Finally, the composer worked to create a unique soundscape. The Sandman's dreamy, dreamlike soundscape was painstakingly created by composer David Buckley, who also used many instruments to distinguish it from other Netflix episodes. The executive sought someone who knows how to be sparse and ambient, but we also want someone who can be large and orchestral, Buckley said in a statement to Screen Rant. He based much of his soundscape on how Dream frequently lurks in scenes without even being there. A composer like Buckley would need to evaluate the series' components and have a sense of its overarching goals and themes to soundtrack it effectively. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And don't forget to leave a comment below, letting us know what you think. We love hearing from you.